still at the same time, I want to remind all of us that one God, one way, and that's Islam. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And we're here right now with our Sheikh who helped us in Virginia and in the United States, and we traveled in Canada. We did many good things, alhamdulillah. So we just remind ourselves, all of us, there is no hidayah except from Allah. Alhamdulillah. This is what we're looking for, and that's what we ask for. Guide us. And remember, get guided with Guide Us TV.
A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way.
Welcome to this episode of Bridge to Faith and also Family Focus. In tonight's program, I'm going to talk slow because we have a tremendous echo. But I wanted to be sure to share and let everybody know that we do have Dr. Sultan with us again tonight. And this is your night.
Yeah, thank you very much.
MashaAllah. So we couldn't have Dr. Adil here because it's too far for him to walk all the way from Florida.
That's exactly right.
And with our limited budget, we could only buy new shoes for him. That's it. Alhamdulillah. So we're talking about family focus from the Islamic or Muslim perspective. And so with Dr. Sultan here to help us with the issues of raising them up in a proper environment. We're going to be talking about that, the environment. And we wanted to be sure that everybody here was on the same page with us. So let's give you a chance, everybody, to say the big salams. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. These people are pretty loud. You don't have to say it twice to them, do you?
No.
Yeah, they know what's going on. All right. So
St. Louis is live.
St. Louis is live?
That's right.
Yeah, all right. I got that, mashallah. We were in Kansas last night. Anyway, so we're here tonight and we're going to be talking about the family. And I wanted to take it from the standpoint of, wait a minute, ready? Marriage. Do we have any brothers here that are interested in getting married for the first time? MashaAllah. Do we have any sisters that are interested in getting married? No interest at all? Wait a minute. Oh, they're just shy. I got that. All right. Okay. They don't want to raise their hand up because the brothers are looking desperately. Alhamdulillah. So marriage is the first step in having a family. According to Islam, we get married, then we have the kids, not the other way around. So with that in mind, what are some of the things that are involved in getting a proper wife or a proper husband in Islam? Doctor, what would you say? Give us some advice about what we should look for. What's the one thing we should be looking for in a spouse?
She should be good character. As Prophet ﷺ said that beauty, the family, it belongs to education and all that stuff. The woman who is Pakiza, who is clean character, good character, that's the woman to be preferred over everything else. You agree with me?
Now, the problem is going to be that you have a mask on, and we have a tremendous echo, and I'm sure the folks at home are going, right, I have no idea what he said. But they're still tuned in because we're talking about marriage.
Yes, exactly.
The good news. So let's find out from our audience here, how many think it's important to get a spouse that's really good looking? Yeah, good looking. All right. So the sisters putting up their hands as well. All right, that's good. That's good. Now, how important is it that they have wealth, good position, good job, good wealth? You know what I mean? Like a doctor. How many think that's a good idea? All right. Some just put up their hand like that, like I don't want anybody to see that, but hey, wealth is, hey, I don't want to live in a cardboard box. I'm not in India. All right, I got that. So, how many think it's important to have a good status? We talk about status, this is in society, a high-class person, somebody really, How many think that's important too? Yeah. Sister, you raised your hand on everything. Somebody wants to get married here. All right. How important is it for them to have a dedication to the religion itself?
Both hands up.
Yeah, there you go. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. So, in this room, that seems to be an important issue. But if you were not in this room right now and just watching this on your phone or watching it on your computer or TV, would you still say the same thing? And you don't need to answer me, but just answer yourself. Is that really what I'm looking for? Or am I really looking for the status or the wealth or the good looks? Yeah, because in most television channels, they're going to promote the good looks. You know that, right?
That's right. That's right.
Because that's how they make their money. They're selling products
of the good-looking women.
Yeah, and good-looking guys too.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that is the stressful thing about it, and I want to stress the stressful thing about this, because if you don't look just right, then you get rejected before they even know who you are. Is that right? If you don't have just the right kind of eyebrow or the right kind of lips or nose is too big or, something like that, you got a problem. If you're too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny, too something, many are going to just pass you by. The important thing for us to keep in mind is that I know that there is physical attraction immediately. That's why we have eyes in our head, all right? But this is a test. The one who has no sight is always better off in these kinds of things because they're not distracted by appearance. They can judge based on other things than just appearance. We had a brother travel with us for a long time, and I hope we get him back again, Abu Hafsa. He was a convert to Islam. He was born without eyesight. It actually has glass eyes. They're blue, by the way. really look cool. They look really cool, but they don't look at all because they're just like glass. I would like to emphasize the importance of looking beyond the looks, because once you get married, just real fast, less than a year, less than even 6 months, maybe even less than a week, because when the guy takes off that girdle thing that he was holding on, making it look like he had a six-pack, you know, when he takes that off, you're going to go, oh. And whenever she takes off all the makeup, boom. And then what are you going to do? You're already married. So get that out of your mind and focus on what is the intelligence of the person. Do they have degrees? Okay, that doesn't always mean intelligence, by the way, but that might be an important thing to you. Also, is this person able to converse with me on a level that I like to talk? Maybe not. At least, is this person able to cook? Because I like to eat. I think most of us like to eat, so that's something that we can start with. What kind of food do you like? Right? And if they say takeout, okay, maybe you want to hold back. The thing that I'm emphasizing, though, is to get past the looks. Then when you're talking about the status, the wealth, okay, but then when you come to the deen, that should be the main focus. The Prophet ﷺ, he told us what means in English, that the 4 criteria that people normally look for is the looks, the appearance, and then the wealth, and then the status, the tribal status, etc., or status that you have. And she doesn't actually have a prison record yet, so that's cool. But the most important thing, and the Prophet ﷺ said deen, and he said this is the most important thing. This is the deal for you. Because everything else can be, worked out. But without the deen. Now, why I've spent so much time with this, when we're just talking about family in general, and especially children, that's my point. When you get married, the whole idea of getting married is so that you can have children. Okay? And I think everybody studied biology enough to understand where their kids come from. They're not really brought in by the stork or under a cabbage patch or something like that. That's not how it works. But after you have children, then what? What's going to happen? Because, for instance, whenever somebody gets married to somebody outside of their religion, there's one of 3 things. Either he's going to convert to her religion, or she's going to go over to his religion, or they're not going to agree about religion, and now the child has a problem. So this is very critical to start with. So if some of you brothers are thinking about getting married to somebody outside of your faith, you are asking for a problem to start with, because that will come up and it will be a sticking point. Maybe not today, maybe not next year, but at some point when they say, no, that child is going to go to my temple or to my church or to my mosque. And unfortunately, we have some divisions within Islam itself, within the Muslims, not Islam, but within the Muslims. So what are you going to do? And as I said, either one or the other is going to convert over to the other religion, or they're going to have a problem, and the child is going to come up with that problem. So think about that real serious before you get started. Also think about this. There are more divorces in the United States than maybe any other country. And the number of marriages that end in divorce is more than the people. Because some people get married and divorced and married and divorced and married and divorced. My father had 9 different wives. So what would that be? Average it out, you can see that that's a problem right away. Think about it, because now if you have a child and you get divorced, who gets the custody? And then how does the child feel? And then what's the money issue going to be now? And then somebody gets remarried, and then the child has to go through all of that. Really? You didn't think about any of that. All you thought about was how good looking she was. Oops. Or wealthy. Or status. So this is why I wanted to focus on that right up front. Think before you sign the paper. All right. Anything you'd like to add to that?
You have done an excellent job. I want to ask one question. What's wrong with falling in love with somebody and marrying that person? What's wrong with that? Just pure criteria of loving somebody and falling in love with and then marrying. Well, here's the problem. You see, how many in your lifetime you have seen that the clothes you like, the coats you like, and the shirts you like, you don't wear it anymore. You don't like it, you see. So like is something that is temporary. Therefore, it should be more focus on something that's more solid. As our Prophet ﷺ said, that person who is close to Deen and loves Deen and can serve Deen, that should be our criteria number one, not just love alone. Just wanted to bring that concept.
That is a very good idea. Whenever we say, oh, but I love her. You heard that before? But I love him. I love him. Oh, yeah. Really? This kind of quote-unquote love is really lust. That's what it is. And it will wear off, just like he said, an old t-shirt. When you got it, oh, I gotta have that t-shirt. It's so comical. It's so cool. That's me. That's my shirt. And then after a couple washings, you look at it and say, yeah, okay, now what? You're married. Yeah. Ugh. What did I get into? Have you ever heard anybody say that? What did I get into? It's because they didn't put Deen first. And by the way, I'm a human being as well, and I know exactly how that can happen. The thing to really help you to solve the problem, because we're all going to have this. It's going to happen. Shaitan will come to you, and nafs, nafs, right? It's going to come to you and you'll be like, oh, no, but in my case it's different. Oh, no, it's not. Not at all. So this is something you can take to your parents and talk to them. You know why? Because they'll bring you back to square one. They'll bring you right back to center and let you really think about what you're about to get involved in. Parents are a real handy thing to have when it comes to this subject. Very, very important. All right, now, I would like to share with you something that happened to me. Many times, some of our youth, they will come up to me and say, Sheikh, give me some nasiha. Give me nasiha. Advice, life advice. That's what they're looking for. And oftentimes, I think they're looking for some permission to get married to whoever or whatever. But that's not where I go with it. I just ask them a question. When you get married, because I know that's where they're coming from. When you get married and you have children and you get old, now watch this. How do you want your children to treat you? Never thought about that. If you're in your teenage years, you are not thinking about that. But all of a sudden, think about it. When you get old, you've got a wife, you've got children. How do you want those children to treat you? Because if it's by the deen, you'll be in good shape. Allah tells us clearly about the subject that when your parents get old, and you're trying to take care of them, even the most difficult day that they give you, thrashing around or forgetting everything or whatever, they're real old, you know, like him.
I will be.
I'm older than him.
I'll be one of these days.
Alhamdulillah. So how do you want these children to treat you? And usually they'll say, with respect, honor, dignity, taking care of me, looking out for me. Is that pretty much everybody here agreeing with that? That's what you want? How are you going to get that if they're not following the deen? And, wait a minute, you didn't even think about that yet. How are they going to have any deen at all if they don't see it from you and your spouse? If they see you fighting over religion, that's going to turn them off even worse. Atheists will tell you, my parents divorced when I was young, or they had this problem or that problem, or the physical abuse or alcoholism. You'll find that a lot of times. So this is the time to think about it. Shall I give them an example?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Go ahead, please.
All right. I was hoping you'd say that, because I have to do that now. When my father became elderly, real old, to the extent that he was forgetting everything, to the point that my sister called me up one day and she said, I'm sending Dad to you because we don't know what's going on. He walked out in the street in the middle of the night and it was foggy and he almost got run over. The people took him. He didn't know where he lived. He didn't know who he was. And the people took him to the police department. She said, I've had it. So I'm going to put him on the bus and hope he makes it. And he made it. He got up there to us. We picked him up off the bus and took him home. And I didn't really see at first a problem, because he was talking with me like always. But over the years, I got to notice that he was forgetting things. And it got to the point when I would walk into the room, oh, my son has come to see me. Yeah, okay, I see you, Dad. What's going on? Then I go into the kitchen for something, come back out. Oh, my son has come to see me. Yeah, I want a banana. What am I supposed to say? But he doesn't remember. So we have to take care of it. Okay. And I have no problem with that. In fact, I really love my father. Even now, I miss him so much. It's almost, I think, 18 years since he passed away, and I still think about him every day. Anyway, I was at my computer. You know that I'm always at my computer. At your house, I did the same thing. So I heard in the kitchen a difficulty between my two daughters.
It's your turn to wash the dishes.
No, it's not. It's your turn. No, I did them last night. Yeah, because you didn't do them for 2 nights in a row. Now it's your turn. No, yes, no. So I got up to go in there and get that settled. And as I passed by my father, he's rocking in his chair, you know. And I looked over at him, and then it flashed in my mind, I know exactly what's going to happen. Because when I open the doors, they're going to stop, and they're going to look at me and go, "Salaam alaikum, Daddy." And what's the problem?
Nothing.
That's exactly what's going to happen, because this is the kind of thing that we did when he was a kid. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to bother him. And I looked over at my dad, and he was looking at me, and I did something. The Arabs, they do this, but we didn't have this in our family. I walked over to him, and I leaned forward, and I kissed him right on the forehead. And I said, "Dad, I love you." And he looked at me and he said, "Well, I love you too." Like, what's going on? And I went back to my computer and started working. The noise settled down out there in the kitchen right away. And then one of them walked out. And she made a beeline straight to my chair. And I looked around and she kissed me right there. Now keep in mind, they didn't see anything that went on. She kissed me in the same spot. And she said, "Dad, I love you." And I just flashed. That's what I just did to my dad. Oh my, subhanallah. And she went about her business. The other one washed the dishes, and when she came out, same track, same footsteps, came right up to me, kissed me right on the head, and said, "Dad, I love you." They never did that before, and they never did it like that again. But what does that say? What is the example Allah is showing us? How you treat your parents, Allah can give you children to treat you the same way or better or worse, depending on how you treat your parents. One of the things that we should mention as well, sisters, how you treat your husband is very, very important for your children. If you're going to hit him with a frying pan, wait till they're out of the room and act like something dropped. You know what I mean? And brothers, I don't need to tell you. Just dodge the frying pan, that's all. All right. Stay tuned for our programs in the future, because I will tell you about the frying pan deal on another subject when we talk about marriage. But right now we're talking about family focus, and we're going to take this break, and we'll be right back right after this. So everybody stay tuned and stay guided with
Guide Us TV.
I like the way he said that. And we're back, MashaAllah, and you're watching Guide Us TV, coming to you almost live from right here in St. Louis.
Mo.
And that's not Muhammad, is it?
No.
Okay, just for clarification. And we're not wearing the mask, so yeah, because everybody else is, though. Let everybody see the folks here. The folks at home can see everybody's wearing a mask, almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's still in Missouri. You've got to do that, right?
Yes, you've got to do that.
Go along with it. I got mine right here. Okay. All right. We've been talking about the importance of having the right spouse so that we have the right kind of upbringing for our children and have a decent family. Think about your own situation when you were growing up. There's no such thing as a perfect environment all the time. So if you had difficulties while you were growing up, your parents, your brothers, sisters, and so on, that's normal. It really is a normal thing in today's world especially, but I think you could look through the stories of the companions and realize that they also had problems. They all have problems. The thing is, how do you deal with the problems? One of the things that I would like to mention about this is to be mature enough that you're not a whiny baby in front of your spouse. If you're going to whine and cry, go out with the guys somewhere and whine and cry and see how far you get. But this is really not the place for you as an adult in a relationship. You have your wife, you have your children. So I'm going to just say it in a real crude way: grow up. Get over it. This is advice from somebody that's been through these things. Now, I would like to mention the difference between males and females. Not biologically, I think everybody understands that one, okay? But from the standpoint that they are not exactly alike. If anybody is telling you the males and females are just the same, then please. Is the male equal to the female, or is the female equal to the male? Immediately you'll have somebody saying, stand up for the women's rights. Huh? Is it right? But sisters, why would you lower yourself to the level of a man just so you could be equal? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Islam is based on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commandments. And Allah is the one who created us. And He told us in the Quran that He created us different. As though you didn't know that. But Allah made sure that we knew that there was a difference between men and women. I'll give you one example. In the Quran, in chapter 33, there's an expression that's translated as the believing men. And then it mentions women. The translators almost always use it like this: the believing men and women, the fasting men and women. But the one that's translated properly is Sahih International. I don't know if you know the translation called Sahih International, but this one says the believing men and the believing women. It makes the distinction is there, and the believing and the fasting men and the fasting women. The charity-giving men and the charity-giving women. It says it like that because that's the way it is in the Arabic. Mu'minina wa mu'minat. You see it real clear. Allah is making sure that you understand that they are equal in front of Him, but not equal in the things that they need. You want to give up some of the things that you need just so you can be like a man? That's really not cool. And what would you like to give up so that you could be like a woman? Come on, guys. That doesn't make any sense. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has arranged this very cool. Let me show you how the women are standing head and shoulders above us in Islam. In Islam. There are 5 pillars in Islam. 5 things that we have to do. Is that true or false? Okay, we got that. The 5 things, first of all, is the Shahada. Now, whenever we got to give we're going to give a man the Shahada, he will come up here and then we will shake his hand and he will give the Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. Yeah. The same thing is for the women. They have to make the Shahada. But do they have to come up here? Or can they do it from the chair where they're sitting? If they would like, they can even do it from behind a screen. Is that true? No problem. So they get their privacy. Now, that's the closest one. What about the next one? Salawat. Tell me about that. How many times a day do we have to do it? Women too? Yeah? Okay. Every day of the year? Yeah? Okay. Do we have to pray every day? Yeah? Do they? No. No, you don't. They don't have to pray for almost a week out of every month. Maybe longer. Is that true? You want to give that up? Wait a minute, before you answer, let me tell you something. Tell me what salah you know for sure Allah accepted from you. Positive. I know Allah accepted it. Nothing. But when you are on your menstrual cycle and you are not praying, that's by order of Allah. He does not want you to do that, but He will reward you for that. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, duh. So you have something guaranteed for you. Just obey Allah. Don't do the salah in those days. You see how it's stacking up already? Oops. We'll jump to the next one. There's more about that, but let's jump to the next one. Now, I think I will mention. When you get the most reward for salah, where is it? Most reward for the salah, where is it? In your city. Where? Masjid, right? What row? Front row. What side? Right side. Yeah? That's, the Prophet ﷺ said that's like Jannah, and you would fight for it, or you would even gamble for it if it was legal. Whoa! How about the sisters? It starts by saying she'll get more reward in the back of the masjid. The last rows of the sisters, not pushing to go up to the front. And more reward for doing it at home. Whoa. And more reward for doing it in her own private room. And more reward behind a screen, and she can choose the time anytime in the window. You have to pray whenever the imam has the iqamah. You got to pray. No, she can take her time. She's finishing up something, cooking, working with the babies, taking care of this or that. Then finishing a letter that she's writing or whatever. Then she can go and do her salah. Is that true or false? she gets more reward. That's even before we talk about the fact that she gets rewards for not praying. If I stop right there, that's enough. What about fasting? Same story again. She has to make it up, but she can choose the day. So if it's a long, hard day, 18 hours that you're fasting, and she's like, I'll fix you something later. I got to test it though. Oh, that's nice. Oh, sorry. Yeah, true story. 18 hours, and then she chooses a day in the year, maybe 9 hours. That's a short day. Yeah, that's the day I'll fast. Oh. She can do that. Did Allah make it easier for her? Okay. But I'm going to come back to something else to get you even up, all right? What about the money? Let's talk about zakat. 2.5%, male or female. It doesn't change, right? Okay. But when she gets married, and you married her, so it should be equal, right? So if she works and makes money, you work and make money, pool the money, right? That's what they do in America. Oops, no. You are responsible for all of the expenses, and if she works, she gets to keep all her money. If she gives you even 1 penny, you need to say thank you very much and make dua for her. Is that true?
Yes.
Now, I know some people watching this right now at home are going, oh, I don't want to be no Muslim. But the females are saying, hey, wait a minute, I like that. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. I love it. So, yeah. I think that you could explore that even further. What about Hajj? Now, I want to be sure to mention this because I don't want our sisters to blow it. Do not make Hajj. Sisters, don't make Hajj unless your husband or father goes with you, or a grown son. You know why? Because you are not supposed to make Hajj by yourself. And 1,000 women still don't equal a mountain for you. Do not do that. You're spending your money to lose your status with Allah. Now, I used to go and help out on these Haji deals, but after I started telling the women that, they never invited me back. They want to sell all the tickets. But the fact is, you are told not to do the Hajj by yourself. Do it with your husband, your father, or your brother, or your the son when he's mature. That's how you can do it. Because it has to be somebody that can protect you, can help you, and get you through the Hajj. For sure, Hajj is not easy. It is not. How many made Hajj? I'm going to make dua that all of us get Hajj. Ameen. 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 So this is something you already have. If you die and you don't have the Hajj physically, Allah will give it to you. Just like the Salat. Why would you compromise and it's Hajj Mabrur? Accepted. We don't even know for sure if our Hajj is accepted. Maybe we got mad. Maybe we lost our temper. Maybe we said something really bad. Maybe we killed something, stepped on a bug or something. I don't know. But anyway, the whole thing that I'm trying to stress for us is that the women have an advantage over the man that they should never give up. Be proud to be a woman. Be proud to be a Muslim. Yes. And why I'm going to touch on this subject because, and I know you sisters know about it, but our folks at home, why do Muslim women cover? My question is, why don't you ever ask that about the Catholic Church? Why do the nuns cover? You didn't ask that question. You just assumed. Because the best of the women for the Catholics are their nuns. And the best of our women are all of them. And they cover. They have respect for themselves and they don't show off their beauty except to their husbands. That's normal for us. All right. Now, anything you'd like to add to that, Doctor?
No, I think you covered it very nicely.
I like that choice of words. Covered it. This guy.
You said it so beautifully. You said it so beautifully that I can't add anything more.
One of the things that I'd like to emphasize again is that in the Quran, Allah is talking about our parents. And it says, don't even say oof. Don't even go, oh man, because you're taking care of your parents. But what about, let's come to this, children's rights. Do children have any rights in Islam? They have the right on you before you ever get married that you're supposed to follow Islam and get married to somebody that's going to be compatible with you, and you're going to stay with them and raise those kids in Islam. That's their right. That's their right on you before they're born. And then when they're born, for the kiddos when they're born, it's a sunnah, but calling the adhan in the right ear. That's a very important thing. If somebody calls the adhan or the iqamah in the left ear, that's nice, but it's more of a cultural thing. But the right ear for the adhan is, that's important. Also, from the beginning, teaching them the Arabic, regardless of what your language is, teaching them the Arabic of the Quran so that they can understand what it is that they're saying. Not that they just go, Alhamdulillah, no. That they know what Alhamd means, what Rabb means, Malik means. And when we say especially, Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim. And of course this is Guidance TV, so I always like to stick this in here. Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim, Siratul Ladina An'amta Alayhim, Ghayrul Maghdubi Alayhim Waladdallin. This Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim means in English, guide us to the straight path. The path of those that have Allah's favor. If they understand that and they just ask Allah to guide them throughout their life and they're serious about it, they're already on the right track. This is something that each and every one of us should be focused on to help our children be on the right track. If they fall down, if they get them up, dust them off, put them back on the track again, keep going. This is the rights of the children. Also the right that you don't beat them. Nobody is supposed to be beaten up by anybody else. Not children, not men, not women. Nobody is supposed to be slapped around. That doesn't work. Obviously, the things about smoking, drinking, drugs, and all the rest of it is absolutely against the Bible and the Quran. This is something that we should always pay attention to. The commandments of Allah are really simple. They're really simple, and they're logical. Don't make partners with Allah. And make sure that your children understand that not even in a joke not even just for fun, because the horoscope, the magic amulets, the lucky rabbit's foot, all of these things are shirk. And Allah tells us in chapter 4, Surah An-Nisa, He does not forgive shirk. Allah will never forgive shirk. So unless the person repents while they're alive, of course. But anybody dies on shirk, they're never going to get out of the hellfire. And that's the first commandment in the Old Testament, the commandment that is the greatest commandment in the New Testament, and it is the commandment for us. No God beside God. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And I think we're pretty much close to wrapping it up. He says we got 5 minutes. Doctor, would you like to talk to us about some of the healthy way to raise up our family? Slowly.
Well, without that, let's talk about another important thing. You compared men and women. You tried to prove somebody's superior than the other. The final question is, who is finally superior? Are the women superior or the men superior? Allah Ta'ala gives example when He uses husband and wife as a pair. Zawj means numerically equal. So when you raise those questions, then the question is, how can this be justified that both men and women are Zawj? I'll give you an example. Let's say that there are 10 questions. Student 1 gets 99 marks. The student B gets 99 marks. But the point is that they're equal. But question 1 through 9, he got 10 marks each, and in the 10th question, he got 9 marks. On the other hand, the other student B got 9 in the number 1 and all the other 10. So they are equal. So there is nobody superior than anybody inferior. Everyone has his own right and place, and everyone is superior in certain ways than other ways. Now let's say that we are Zawj. And the robbers comes inside the house at night. The husband says, well, last time when the robber came, I went and fought. Now, today you go and fight. You will say, no, I'm the man of the house. I'm going to go and get it for you.
Doctor, does that apply to having the baby? So the lady said, well, I had the first one, you have the second one.
Exactly. But you can't.
Yeah, I think that's a real strong point.
Yeah.
That's a very strong point. I never thought about it that way, but yeah, there is something that I think we can all agree on. The attraction from one to the other is real, and we do love our spouses, and we want them to be the perfect one for us, but we very seldom think about, I need to be the perfect one for them. And sometimes whenever your wife or spouse has difficulty, if you step in and do their jobs, you'll be surprised how Allah can make everything easy for you. With that, we'll wrap it up. You've been watching Family Focus here on Bridge to Faith on Guide Us TV. So stay tuned and stay guided with... I thought they could do better than that.
Yes, once again.
Guide Us TV. Thank you. I love that one. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Yusuf Estes, and I'm looking for something. Actually, I'm looking for someone. Is that someone you? I want Dawah partners, and you can be my Dawah partner right now. It's real easy. Just go to dawahpartners.com, sign up, and join me. There are 3 things that I would like for you to be able to do. Any one of them, or all of them. Beautiful. Number 1, you will make dua. So you can be our Dawah partner, even if you don't go to the website, but I hope you do. Number 2, share. Share this message and let other people know about becoming Dawah partners. And number 3, help us financially. Donate on a monthly basis, even if it's small. Allah loves the thing that you do regularly, even if it's small, more than the thing that you do that's really big, but you only do it once. Join me as a Dawah partner. Do it now. Click, 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 click.